started with Constantine. He lied and said he saw a cross from the sky. And it's a fact that he didn't see anything. He just wanted to get the Christians to behave themselves. And what's the best way to do it? I'll become a Christian. And that's exactly what he did. But then he formed his own church after that, the Catholic Church. See, I discovered all this by accident just doing family tree. Because all the family tree, there's always baptisms and marriages, and there's always something to do with the church. And, you know, everybody, they get married. Most people get married in a church. And when people get baptized, they usually get baptized at church, unless you're in the olden times. John the Baptist baptized you in the river. That's different.
Yeah.
So there's Hey, how you?
That's fine.
Good to see you. So there's records.
Yeah.
And Ancestry.com is owned by the Mormons, and you know the Mormons.
Mormon. Joseph Smith, the founder.
I don't know if they're in Utah, so I guess it's Joseph Smith.
Utah, in the Utah.
Right. And they're a honest company. You can send a DNA sample to them, and they have a laboratory, and they put your DNA in a computer with thousands and thousands of people all over the world. You have to pay, of course, just for the test. And it'll tell you how many percent Spanish you are, how many percent Italian. And it keeps updating as more samples, more people get tested. So last time I looked at mine, I had a lot of Scotland and Italy and Western Europe. So Ancestry.com is my hobby. I go on there, it's researching my family, it's personal, you know, it's fun. Sometimes I find surprises in there that I didn't know. Like my mother's side of the family is Catholic, but my father's side of the family is Protestant.
Oh, yeah. It's not the same, the religion.
Yeah, I don't know what my father, he got baptized. I don't know what he was baptized, but it was Protestant religion. But I have the baptism of his father in my room, because there's a record of them and there's a book. And they were Methodist Episcopal. And now the Methodist and Episcopal separated into two different religions. It was one, they used to be together, Methodist Episcopal. Now there's Methodist and Episcopalian. But back then, Methodist and Episcopal was the same religion.
What is the first origin of Methodist country?
The first what country?
What is the origin of Methodist in the America?
I'm not really sure about that. I'd have to look that up.
About the Baptist.
The Baptist was, the Baptist religion was started by that guy, what was his name, Martin Luther?
Yeah, Martin Luther.
Right. He protested against the Catholic Church, remember? That's where Protestant comes from, protest. I protest.
Oh, yeah.
So from him came the Baptists and the Lutherans.
Lutheran.
Right. So the religious tree of all the churches is very interesting. Find out where they came from.
The Mormon origin in Utah.
I'm not. I want to say that they did, and they started in the East Coast, and then they migrated west to Utah.
Yeah.
Wagon train. Yeah. I want to say the Mormons started in America. Yes. And their religion's a little bit. They're the nice people. I went into one of their buildings. They let you do the family research for free. They have. You ever hear of microfiche?
Yeah.
Where you look at these slides. Anyway, they're nice people, and you don't have to be Mormon to use their family tree library.
Many religion in America.
Oh my God, too many.
Many.
We got every religion, every kind, probably. Yeah. If you go in the phone book in my little town of Maydan, in my county, Rockingham County, there's probably 100 churches in there.
100 churches.
In my 100 churches in a small county, which be like to be like, I guess, like Kansas, but smaller. And in that phone book, more than 100 churches.
70 Adventists he started to America.
That's what you told me.
Yeah.
1905?
Yeah, 1905, America.
What about Jehovah's Witness? You know anything about that?
The Jehovah's Witnesses.
They probably started America.
In America also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And basically what it was
No,
people not happy with the Catholics, they went to a different religion. They said, I don't want to be Catholic, or I don't want to join the Catholics, I'm going to join this other one. And whatever the other one, we label all the other ones as Protestant, protesting the Catholics. So we put, if you want to have a word for all the other churches, it's called Protestant. Because Martin Luther protested. He started that. And my ancestor, the Greens, his name was Daniel Grenat. He was a French guy. He came to America for religious freedom. He was a Huguenot, which is another fancy word for Protestant. And they were being persecuted in Europe, some of them being killed by the Catholics. So he came over to America for religious freedom. And he's known as Daniel the Huguenot. Huguenot's just a fancy word for a particular group of Protestants. So I have Methodist, Episcopal, I have Huguenot, I have Catholic, I got all kinds of religions in my tree. But I was studying a little bit about Abraham, who is called the patriarch of the Israel people. And he came out of the land of Sumer, S-U-M-E-R, which was south of Jerusalem. If you head dead south, it's almost near the ocean, I guess, or maybe the Dead Sea or somewhere. But there was a city called Sumer, S-U-M-E-R, and he brought all the stories about the flood and the Tower of Babel and all that stuff. He brought all those stories with him. He brought all the stories with him to Israel. And there's many countries, they all have, not just the Jews, but the Babylonians, the Persians, and the Mesopotamians, and some of the others. They all have an Adam and Eve story. It's just the names of the guy and the girl are different. But it's all the same Adam and Eve story. And the Great Flood, they all have, all those different countries and religions they all have the same story about the flood. Because it must have been a regional flood. It affected not just the Jews, but other people.
The flood is the time of Noah.
Right. So I think that it wasn't the whole world that was flooded, but the area where the Nile is into the desert there before it used to be tropical like this. It was a particular area there got flooded, and probably part of Persia, part of Middle East, part of Turkey, part of many countries was flooded. So that's why they all have a flood story. The Persians, the Babylonians, the Mesopotamians, not just the Israelites.
What is the true of Babylonian now?
What's the what?
The country of Babylonian now. What is the Babylonian country now? The Middle East, Babylonian.
I think it's Iran. It's either Iran or Iraq. No, I think it's Iran's Babylon.
Iraq?
I think so. Or maybe Turkey, one of those two.
Iraq or Turkey.
Because it changed. So one of those two, but I'm not really sure. I don't have my book, but it actually has some of the old maps in my book, and it shows you Babylon and Masada and Qumran and all those. Are you familiar with Qumran?
Quran?